What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video, and make sure you guys grab your popcorn because this is going to be a long one. This is going to be a really long one. We are going to be doing a full 2-round mock draft of the NFL. I asked you guys in the community if you guys want to see that. About 80% of you guys said yes, you want to see that. Some people said 7 rounds. I was like, hold up, nah, bro. Like, that's going to take forever. But I guess I could keep going round by round, and maybe we just break it up day by day and not do it all in one video because that'd be like a 3-hour video. But instead, maybe not 3 hours, okay? Maybe like an hour, okay? I'm going to try to make this one pretty super quick. Now, I know you guys are going to disagree with a lot of this, and that's okay because, you know, no one has any idea what's going to happen in the draft. I'm pretty sure no one's been there, so yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen. This could be perfectly right. Every single pick on this could be wrong. I mean, you never know. We have no idea. But here's my mock draft, and I think it's a little bit crazier. I think you guys will enjoy that because the draft is crazy. It's not just best player, best need, and they draft that player. Crazy things happen. We see a lot of weird players get drafted. Okay, we've seen a lot of weird stuff in the last few years. Cleveland Farrell went so high, or Cleveland Farrell, when he went so high in the draft. We saw the Browns have Greedy Williams just fall in their lap in the second round. And I was like, what the heck? How did that happen? I thought we were going to take him, but I honestly thought he could be a top 10 pick. And then obviously he fell in the second round. A lot of crazy things happened. There's always a lot of big trades. And in this video, there's one huge trade. So I think you guys may enjoy that as well. But as you guys are looking at the screen, or maybe you're not yet, but you're about to, let's get this thing started. We're going to try to put about 10 players on each one. Okay, some of them have like 12 just to like finish out the round. But we have about 10 players on each of the pictures. So let's get this thing started. 1 through 10. Show me the board. Okay, you're probably already looking at it. All right. Start off this mock draft with the first pick overall. The Bengals select Joe Burrow. Obvious one. Not going to spend a lot of time on this. Bengals fans, I'm sorry. If you want to see me break it down, I'm probably not going to do that because we already know he's going first. All right, now here's where the big thing happens. The trade. The trade of the draft. The biggest, or one of the biggest trades ever in draft history. We have the Redskins trade away the second pick in the draft to the New York Giants. Wow. I mean, the Giants have a huge need of edge rusher, but they're sitting at 4 and they're looking and they're saying, dang, man, that's our guy. But then the Redskins, apparently, they're out there and they're like, yeah, hey, we'll listen to some offers. And the Giants, they take the risk. You know, they struggled recently, so they take the risk. They're like, you know what, let's just go get him. We believe this guy is going to be the next great edge rusher in the NFL. He's going to be a historically great player. So you know what they do? They decide to take the Redskins up on that offer, and they decide to make a deal with the Redskins to trade up. Now, we will get into what that was maybe later, maybe at the end of the video, but they do trade up to the second pick in the draft, and the Redskins are loving this because the Redskins are looking at this like, wow, we don't need an edge rusher. We're not going to take an edge rusher. Why take an offensive lineman at 2 if we can trade back and still get a great offensive lineman? That's exactly what they do. So they get a big return, and they still get their player that they wanted. And now the New York Giants, who wanted an edge rusher, they gave a lot away for him, but they get the best one in the draft in Chase Young, and he goes to number 2. So the crazy trade is out of the way. Now, let's get into the rest of the thing. At the third pick in the draft, we have our Detroit Lions, and we select Isaiah Simmons, linebacker out of Clemson. Look, we were interested in that trade, but we knew we had too many needs to give them more than the Giants were willing to offer to trade up. It just was too far out of reach. Okay, maybe we made a little bit of an offer, but we weren't going to go all in on that one. So you know what? We just sat, we stayed calm, and we took Isaiah Simmons, okay? Next up, the Washington Redskins, who then traded back, like I said, to the 4th spot. They select Andrew Thomas, the offensive tackle to Georgia. They wanted him anyways, and they were sitting at 2. They're like, why take him there if we can just trade back and get more returns? That's what they do. To round out the top 5, the Miami Dolphins are sitting there, and they're loving it as well because Tua Tagovailoa falls right to their spot, their biggest need, and they select a quarterback out of Alabama. But apparently, his scout wants him to sit for a year as a backup, so the Dolphins may be a little bit worried about that. Maybe they go grab an old veteran quarterback in free agency to put it in front of him for 1 year. We'll see. Now, outside of the top 10, at the 6th pick in the draft, we have the Chargers. And the Chargers need a quarterback as well. They take Justin Herbert here. They didn't want to wait around, okay? They know how fast quarterbacks can fly off the board. Any team that does need a quarterback could take them, and they know how important it is, so they take Justin Herbert here. They don't play around. That leaves the Carolina Panthers to get a really good player with the 7th pick, fill out a huge need in Derek Brown, the defensive tackle. Definitely the best defensive tackle in the draft in my eyes out of Auburn. Then, with the 8th pick in the draft, the Arizona Cardinals get offensive lineman help as well with Jedrick Wills. So some people make the case he's the best offensive lineman coming out of this draft. So the Cardinals, they're feeling good. Then, with the 9th pick, we get a little bit of a surprise here, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars not taking a wide receiver, but instead taking Jeffrey Okudah. They saw him slide down the board. They didn't want to miss out on their opportunity, so they took him. I know not a lot of people are expecting it. It is a need, not their biggest, but he's sitting there, and yeah, they didn't want to let him slide at all, so they just took him. Then to round out the top 10, we have the Cleveland Browns, who need an offensive lineman. They select Tristan Wirfs. They keep it simple. They were just kind of waiting to see who would be available, and Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa came available, so they took him. Now, out of the top 10, we're going to go 11 through 20, and with the 11th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select A.J. Epinesa, edge rusher out of Iowa. They need an edge rusher. Now, AJ is also going to slide up, I think, going a little bit higher than a lot of people expect because the edge rusher is such a big need, and Epinesa flies off the board nearly in the top 10. Then at number 12, the Raiders are loving it because they get their dream pick in Jerry Jeudy at number 12. Yes, he fell to number 12, and they love it. Then at 13, the Indianapolis Colts, who also need a wide receiver, take CeeDee Lamb because, hey, he's still there. They were going to take either one. They took Lamb, and they're definitely happy about it. Then with the 14th pick, the Buccaneers, they select Javon Kinlaw. So maybe a little bit of surprise here, but Kinlaw, he rose so high in his draft stock after the Senior Bowl, and the Buccaneers fell in love with him. They wanted a great defensive lineman for the future and now, so they decided to take Javon Kinlaw. I like the pick. Then the Denver Broncos, who still need a wide receiver, get Henry Ruggs, who I've taken pretty much on all my mock drafts for them. I'm just saying. Then with the 16th pick to get halfway through the first round, we have the Atlanta Falcons who select Kayvon Chaisson, the edge rusher out of LSU. I know I'm saying that right. It's not Chaisson. It's Chaisson or Chaisson. I don't know. Either way, they select him, and they needed an edge rusher. It was their biggest need. There was a lot of options out there, but they decided to go Kayvon. Maybe a little bit of a reach in some people's eyes, but, you know, when you have a need, you take it. Then at number 17, the Dallas Cowboys, instead of taking Grant Delpit here, they decide to pass, and they go on Christian Fulton, the cornerback out of LSU. Another little surprise. A couple little surprises here. Then with the 18th pick, the Miami Dolphins go select Mekhi Becton out of Louisville, the offensive tackle. Now, I think some people were expecting Mekhi maybe to go to the second round, but here he goes in the first round. So the Dolphins sitting at that spot, seeing the three best offensive tackles go off the board, they knew that was a need, and also they wanted to help out their new quarterback who was already dealing with injuries, so they might as well help out that offensive line. They get an offensive tackle. Then at number 18, the Raiders select Kenneth Murray. Again, maybe a reach, but they needed a linebacker, and they didn't want to wait because they know many teams behind them want a linebacker, so they decided to take maybe the best inside linebacker available in Kenneth Murray. Then at number 20, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are looking for a wide receiver, they see a lot of really good players flying off the board. And no, they didn't take a wide receiver at 9. So Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, they're missing out. Well, T. Higgins is still there, and it's honestly not much of a downgrade. T. Higgins is still the baller wide receiver out of Clemson, so they get two big needs there, and I like it. Let me just say that. Now, to finish out the first round, the last page we have, starting at number 21, the Philadelphia Eagles select C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida, fill out a nice need in the secondary, help out a little bit with C.J. Henderson. Then at number 22, the Buffalo Bills select Yetur Gross-Matos, the edge rusher out of Penn State. Yeah. Some people don't think he's going to go in the first round. But, like I said, edge rusher can become a huge need, and Yetur Gross-Matos is loving it because he is now a first-round pick. Then New England Patriots make a surprise one, and they go get a quarterback. Now, does that mean he's going to play this year? I'm not exactly sure. They may sign a veteran, or maybe Tom Brady returns for another year. I think that's what will happen, or he'll retire. But they decide to get a backup anyways, and they're like, no, Brady, you're not running him out of town because we do need one. And they select Jordan Love out of Utah State. Yeah, maybe a little bit of surprise, but hey, they need someone for the future. For some reason, Jared Stidham is. I thought Stidham was good. I don't know. Then at number 24, the New Orleans Saints select Patrick Queen, who they had their eyes on Kenneth Murray, but Kenneth Murray's gone. So they take Patrick Queen, but they're not upset. Linebacker out of LSU. But I'll tell you who is a little bit upset. The Green Bay Packers fans. They're like, dang, man, that was our dude. Then at 25, the Minnesota Vikings select Trayvon Diggs, so they need some secondary help, and they get the man out of Alabama, the cornerback. Then at number 26, Miami Dolphins' third pick already in the draft. They select Jonathan Taylor, who in my eyes is the best running back in the draft, to pair along with new offensive tackle and a new quarterback. This is going to be a crazy Miami team next season. Then at number 27, we have the Seattle Seahawks who select Laviska Shenault Jr., the wide receiver out of Colorado. So they need a wide receiver. They need to give Russell Wilson some kind of weapon. Some go up and get a guy across from DK Metcalf and an aging Tyler Lockett. They go get Laviska Shenault Jr., the wide receiver out of Colorado. I love saying that. I know I'm saying it wrong, but I like saying it. All right, number 28, we have the Baltimore Ravens, and they also need some help on the edge. They need to find Lamar Jackson another weapon, and they do in Justin Jefferson out of LSU. They're not playing around. They go get him here. Then at number 29, the Tennessee Titans select Terrell Lewis, edge rusher out of Alabama. Now, if Lewis can stay healthy, he's going to be a beast. The Titans are a little bit cautious of that. They do know is a need, and elsewhere they feel really, really good. So they go get an edge rusher. Then number 30, the Green Bay Packers select Josh Jones, offensive tackle out of Houston. They saw both their linebackers go, and they're sitting there and they're thinking, okay, maybe wide receiver. Well, all those guys are going. We can wait till the second round to do that. So instead, they decided to take an offensive tackle to help out and protect Aaron Rodgers. Then at number 31, the Kansas City Chiefs get an explosive player that just doesn't seem fair in J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State. Can you imagine? I don't know. I just have a feeling he's going there. Then at number 32, the 49ers, who needed a safety, were thinking that Xavier McKinney would be that guy. But no, Grant Delpit fell here because the Dallas Cowboys passed. They're not going to pass. Grant Delpit goes to end the first round. Then to start off the second round, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who need a wide receiver to pair up with this offense. And the Cincinnati Bengals select Jalen Reagor, the wide receiver out of TCU. I like the thought of bringing in Jalen Reagor. They pair him up with Joe Burrow. They give him a weapon instantly. I like the thought of it. Then at number 34, we have the Indianapolis Colts, who select Neville Gallimore, who potentially Lions fans could be looking at. But Gallimore goes here, the defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, gives them some help on the interior. Then at number 35, the Detroit Lions with a lot of options, but really confusing options. Maybe questioning whether or not they should go cornerback and pick up a guy like Damon Arnett, but instead they decide to go with Raekwon Davis and not Ross Blackman, or not, his name isn't Ross Black. Yeah, Ross Blacklock, because of the injury that he suffered and he missed an entire season. They decided to go a little bit safer here with Raekwon Davis, who's a pure run stopper, and the man out of Alabama is now with the Detroit Lions. Then at number 36, who is now the Redskins pick because of the Giants trade, the Redskins select Damon Arnett, who has also flew up the draft board as well. They get themselves a cornerback to pair along with an offensive tackle. And, I like the pick. Then at number 37, the Chargers select Austin Jackson, offensive tackle out of USC. We don't know what the future looks like there for a lot of things, but they do need an offensive tackle, so they get some help. And, new Justin Herbert's probably going to like that. Then at number 38, we have the Carolina Panthers, who select Jacob Eason. So they're looking at this, and the Panthers are thinking to themselves, okay, we got our interior defensive lineman. I don't know what's going to happen with Cam Newton. I don't know who our quarterback's going to be. So let's just play it safe and at least grab ourselves somebody in worst case scenario that could start or potentially be a backup if we get someone else. Jacob Eason out of Washington goes here. Then at number 39, we have the Miami Dolphins, who's like Julian Okwara, the edge rusher out of Notre Dame. Fell a little bit here. Not my favorite prospect, but the Dolphins are filling out tons of needs, and he has the potential. He has the talent. Is that can he be coached through that talent? At number 40, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who take Ross Blacklock, who the Lions decide to pass on and take Raekwon Davis. The injury is scary, but he does have 3.5 sacks in his last season at TCU, so that interests them a little bit. Then at number 41, we have the Cleveland Browns once again, who are absolutely loving this as they get Xavier McKinney, who somehow, someway fell to number 41. I know no one's expecting it, but it happened. So not only did they get an offensive tackle, but they also got a steal at safety where, they're loving it. Then at number 42, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who get DeAndre Swift, who's potentially the best running back and maybe the best prospect still available on the board. They get themselves a stud running back to help out that offense. Then at number 43, we have the Chicago Bears, who selected Lloyd Cushenberry, who was in center out of LSU, and potentially he can move to the guard spot, and maybe the Bears are going to be looking to move him around a little bit. Then at number 44, we have the Indianapolis Colts, who select Jake Fromm, quarterback out of Georgia. So they were passing on quarterback. They were waiting. And they're sitting there and they're thinking, okay, is Brissett our guy? I don't know. But Fromm, it seems to be ready to go because he is basically a veteran, so he takes Jake Fromm. Then number 45, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Lucas Niang, the offensive tackle out of TCU. You can see the TCU players are just flying off the board here, as well as Denver selecting another TCU player and getting not only wide receiver, but now a skill position on the defense, a cornerback, and that is Jeff Gladney, I think, yeah. Okay, at number 47, we have the Atlanta Falcons, and they select Curtis Weaver, who fell down the board here. I think this is an absolute steal. The Falcons get Curtis Weaver, which was a big need for them to get an edge rusher. Atlanta is getting their second edge rusher. Now, this one's kind of crazy. Again, I said there's going to be some wild things. They were looking at the board, and they're thinking, all right, we don't need another edge rusher. Then they see Curtis Weaver, and they're like, okay, maybe we do. They pair him with Chasen. I have no problems with it. You know what? You got a need to go fill it, and they're also going to add some depth. They're getting two big edge rushers, and they're seeing what the Packers could do with two really good edge rushers. Maybe they're trying to follow that. I know it's crazy. I don't know. Then, at number 48, the Jets select Cesar Ruiz, the offensive lineman out of Michigan, who seems like he's going to be a day one starter. Plays some center, can move around. Ruiz seems like a really solid and safe pick here for the Jets. Then at 49, the Steelers select Jonathan Greenyard because for some reason, the Falcons had to take their guy in Curtis Weaver. They're sitting there like, really? Why would you do that? I mean, they're like, they were almost guaranteed to get, and then all of a sudden they take him. So they're like, all right, whatever. We'll take Jonathan Greenyard out of Florida. Then number 50, the Bears give themselves a tight end. Another option for Trubisky? I don't know. Well, they get Cole Kmet here, the tight end out of Notre Dame, maybe the best tight end that's coming out of this draft. Then number 51, the Dallas Cowboys, who passed on a safety earlier to get a cornerback, now get their safety in Antone Winfield Jr., the safety out of Minnesota. I like it. They're getting two good players in the secondary. Then at number 52, we have the Rams, and the Rams get an offensive tackle in Prince Tega Wangho. Now, it was a big need, maybe a little bit of a stretch, but again, it's a big need, and they haven't had a lot of picks, so the Rams are just gonna take their guy that they need. And at number 53, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who select KJ Hamler, the wide receiver out of Penn State. KJ Hamler, probably the best available, more of a slot type of guy, but the Eagles do need some weapons on the outside, and KJ Hamler's, he's good. He's kind of a sleeper. Then number 54, we have Brandon Ayuk. Okay, I'm trying here. The Bills select Brandon Ayuk, another wide receiver here out of Arizona State. So Arizona State gets a player, but back-to-back wide receivers go off the board, and the Bills fill the need after selecting Yetur Gross-Matos earlier in the draft. Then at number 55, to finish this thing off, the Atlanta Falcons select Noah. I'm not even going to try it. Cornerback out of Auburn. The Falcons needed a cornerback because for some reason they drafted back-to-back edge rushers. So, yeah, they're like, okay, now we got to go somewhere else. And they go get a cornerback here. I don't know how to say his name, so Noah. Then number 56, we have the Dolphins, who was like A.J. Terrell, the cornerback out of Clemson. The Dolphins getting tons of needs filled throughout this entire draft. Then number 57, the Houston Texans select Clyde Edwards-Helaire, out of LSU, okay? And then that is the best running back probably available, and that was really the biggest need. The Texans were looking at this, and running back was probably their biggest need, so that's who they decided to select. Then at number 58, the Minnesota Vikings are going to get an offensive lineman to help out there. That was a big need heading into the draft. They finally get it here in Matt Hennessy out of Temple. Then number 59, Seattle Seahawks take Zach Bond, who I think was an absolute steal here. I don't know how he was still available, but they take him out of Wisconsin, the edge rusher. Then at number 60, the Ravens take our guy. Oh, the Lions fans wanted him, but Josh Uche goes here to Baltimore, the edge rusher out of Michigan, who, again, the Senior Bowl really helped him out. Then number 61, the Tennessee Titans select Bryson Hopkins, the second tight end to go off the board out of Purdue. Again, maybe the best tight end. I mean, I don't know. Those are really the two top guys. Then number 62, the Packers, who passed on a wide receiver earlier because so many were off the board and got an offensive tackle. Now they get a weapon out of Michigan and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Then at number 63, the Chiefs select Bryce Hall, the cornerback out of Virginia, filled a big need in the secondary. They need a lot of help defensively and not really offensively. Then at number 64, to finish it off, the two-round mock draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Isaiah Wilson, offensive tackle out of Georgia, filled a big need. They need some guys to protect Russell Wilson. That man was running like crazy. He's running for his life. And now getting back to the trade, here's my trade. I don't know how realistic this is. I don't know what they would give up. They may even have to give up a player. But I went with the Giants giving up their second-round pick in this year's draft, their fifth-round pick in this year's draft, and their 2021 first-round pick. Yep, that's how I got it. So let me hear your thoughts, comment below. I know there's some wild things on here. You guys are probably going to completely disagree. But, yay, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know. And you don't know. None of us have been at the draft. Wild things happen. We'll see what happens, but it really is just for fun. And, keep it, how should I say it? Not respectful. Keep it respectful in the comments below. But it is okay to disagree with people. Let me hear your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.